All right, good evening, investors. Welcome. How we doing? Let's clean this up a little bit. You should be able to see good. You should be able to see a screen. You should be able to hear me. All should be good. All right, let's dive into it here. We have early in the week here. It is Tuesday. You should notice on the members page there are a couple potential new plays set up there for us going into tomorrow, as well as the spreadsheet, which I'll pull up here for you. There you go. If you can't see it too well there, just go to the members page, and I got it up there as well. So, some of the things we need to cover. All right, new stop prices. As always, we adjust our stops on Monday. Those were in the letter, or the spreadsheet was included in the letter. If you don't get the letter, make sure to send me an email. Make sure you get it. We have reduced risk on a number of plays. And the reason, like I said, well, let's go look at this real quick. So we're trying to reduce risk as much as possible while continuing to play. The reason why is because everybody is focused on this. And it's been like this for some time, but everybody's focused right here. This is the chart of the index, the S&P 500. And we hit the Dow, hit all new highs. NASDAQ is nowhere near. And the S&P is very close to hitting all-time highs. I mean, you could really zoom out here if you want. Going all the way back to before the year 2000. That's what we're shooting for. And it's my belief that we're not going to get through that on the first try. I've said that a few times now as we've had these, big exciting days that have been up, getting closer and closer. I just don't think we're going to just buzz right on through it like it's no big deal. With everybody paying this much attention, chances are you're going to get some profit taking or really, really tight stops from people as we go into it. Now, what that means is, imagine you're managing a ton of money, so much money that you could not get out in one click of a button. Me and you guys, we're 200 shares, 500 shares, whatever it is you have, we click the button, we're out of the stock. It's not possible for the big guys, and there's a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of money out there. So it's my belief that you're going to have a lot of people that say, okay, I will take profits if we get to under 1525. I will take profits if we close under 1500. They're not just going to pile out. What you see here is more than likely a few people saying, I better take a little money off the table just in case we come flying down. Now, I don't think this whole thing going on in Cyprus is really going to be that big of a deal. As you can see today, I mean, the morning started off very low and we recovered no problem. Basically recovered no problem for the rest of the day. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. And from what I saw on TV, I don't watch TV that often, but I guess they're going to postpone the vote on that. That's if you're paying attention to that, basically the people in Cyprus, their money is all frozen into banks right now. So if you live there, you can't go to the bank. They're trying to decide if they're going to tax you 10% on your holdings so that they can pay back, their debt like everybody else in the world, or whether they're going to just tax a certain group, which I think, they're only going to tax the richer people, and blah, blah, blah. So a little bit of a mess, but I don't think that's really going to mess us up. It's a tiny, that'd be like saying Arkansas is going to default on, Arkansas is a bad example. I can't think of anywhere in Arkansas. That'd be like saying Austin, Texas, or even better, Richardson, Texas is going to default on some municipal bonds. Big deal, right? Sucks for the people in Richardson, Texas, but really not affecting the rest of the world. So I think that's what you're going to see. People just kind of shrug it off. They'll come up with something, and we'll work it out. All right. So again, S&P up at highs. This is nothing new. We've been talking about this for a while. So has everybody else on the face of the planet. And so between some of that bad news today and what we have over the past couple of days, starting on Friday, seeing a little bit of a pullback. Not too big of a deal at the moment. Most people not paying too much attention to that, and that's a good thing. But we'll see where we go from here. Now what we did, just to be safe, and what we continue to do and always really like to do, let's go back to a weekly here, is we like to take our portfolio, which is over here on the right, and we like to reduce risk as much as possible, right? Those of you that are new, joining us for the first time, or it's your first week or two here, you're going to get really annoyed by me saying, I don't care if we win, I just care about how much we lose. So the focus is always on losing as little as possible. It's so stupid. People say it all the time. What do they? Reduce your risk, or cut your losses short and let the winners run. That's such a dumb saying, but essentially we're trying to do that here. So just to be sure, every week we go through our portfolio, which is on the screen here, and we take these symbols, which are also over here, right, on this market watch list. We go through and see, is there any possibility that we can reduce risk or even lock in more profit? Now at the top of the spreadsheet here is our oldest position, and it works its way down to our newest position, is how it goes. So naturally you'll see the older positions, we're locking in profits. We've already taken some profits off the table. We're doing okay on those positions. And then as you go down, the newer positions, we really haven't had a chance to reduce our risk on them too much just yet, if at all. And so you see it looks red down here, and those are our new positions. Still developing. We don't know what's going to happen with those yet. So hopefully you had a chance to see those. We decided that FBHS, we should lock in a little bit more profit. Been a great runner for us, continues to be a great runner for us. We'll leave it at that. Remember from over the summer, guys, when we have these positions, I remember that the top half of our portfolio, we were seeing 25, 30% returns. At 30%, we basically will lock in almost everything. I mean, if the stock even hints at a pullback, we're going to get out of it. So be ready for that if this FBHS keeps doing well for us. We got a ways to go, but just heads up. Target, we got doing all right on that one. We are locking in break even on the second part of our play, but we've already taken 8% off the table, so looking good there. Microchip, basically locking in 3% now on what's left. We've already taken 8-9% off the table already, so good there. MTGE gapped down the other day. I didn't actually look up why or bother to check, I guess. We're out of that one. We're able to reduce our risk a little bit, down to 6%, but we like to do better if we can do that, but that's where it's at. BCPC, doing really well for us. Had this one for a little bit now. We now are at a position where we have made, right? We've made our 8.5% already on most of the position, and we're just going to be break even on the rest of it. That's just simple as that, right? So we're trying to look for, or that's where we're at the moment. We're going to stay with that on BCPC. AEM, our gold mining stock, turning the corner. Actually, our gold mining stocks, as plural, we have two of them if you're not familiar. AEM is a gold miner, gold and silver, and AUY is my favorite out of all of them, but that's also another one. These are doing okay. AUY better than AEM at the moment, but we'll see how this progresses. Didn't raise a stop or anything on it. Remember, we're still pretty much new on these plays. We're picking bottoms. Remember, don't get too greedy or too anxious to raise your stop when you're picking bottoms. I mean, we never know if we have the bottom or if this needs to drop 3 or 4%, then turn. That's why we don't have a whole portfolio full of these symbols. So nothing new on that one, and also nothing new on AUY. Although it had a great day, nothing new to do there. Dollar General, not very exciting. So we've only had it here for this month. It was on the first day, obviously. Nothing new to do except reduce the risk. We're able to shave now half of our initial risk off the table. It's not doing a whole lot. It's a pretty active name, but since we've had it here, it's been in a decent wider range, but hasn't done a whole lot. So nothing new to say there. And then our problem child, AEO. Ever since it gapped down on us, we've been talking about if there's one in here that's really giving us a lot of grief, it was AEO, and we were able to raise the stop a little bit. I was tempted to just say, let's just get out of the stupid thing, but actually that's not right. It's over here, 6%. I tried to keep the stop just under 20 and see what might happen, and we're out of it. So good riddance. Kind of glad to not have to look at that. Always sucks when you know there's that one that's, oh, it's just not going to work out, and you don't want to break your rules, but we're out. We're done with it. And then the last three are just Boeing, right? We raised our target to 90 on Boeing. What a great runner. Normally, like we said, a boring stock that doesn't do a whole lot, pays a little dividend, but doesn't do much. It's been really exciting for us, and we're now at a point where we've locked in our 8.5% on Boeing. On most of the position, it's over. Hopefully you've had a chance to take profits, and then we're just bringing the stop up to break even, right? Which you'll notice, I'll go check that out real quick. Some of you might say, oh, geez, you're crazy. Why not raise the stop even more? Okay, so here's Boeing. We bought it back here at 78, right? And it awesome, right? Couldn't ask for a better move. But we've only raised our stop to 78, so we're break even. Just keep in mind that we're basically done, right? We took our profits on the move up. We've got, if you're playing along with me, you've got a quarter of your position left, and that's it, right? We're going to shoot for as much as we can get. Really doesn't matter. We'll raise this again next week and the week after, and it'll be great, but we may get a chance to put more shares back on. And so that'd be kind of fun if we could say, well, we bought it at 78, and let's say we're shooting for 90 still. But the stock gives us an opportunity to add above our price. And so now we're only raising our average price by a little bit, which you always want to raise your average price, never lower it. That's danger. So we're gonna raise the price a little bit, but the stock is still so far away from our price that we've got now more shares with really no risk at all. We'll be able to do a break-even stop on that as well. We'll go over that in detail if we get that opportunity so you can see. I'll tell you, I'll make a new chart, and I'll say, okay, it's basically a new position. We're going to put back the 3/4 at whatever the price might be, and then I'll show you how technically our entry price will raise a little bit, and we'll go through that as a kind of a lesson thing. But that's what I was hoping to do there. So if you don't want to play that game and you say, look, I'm not going to let it come all the way back down, then raise your stop. Put it up somewhere in 83, 84, and as it pulls back, you'll get out. Your call. And remember, this is all for fun. I mean, I'm playing along. This is what I'm doing. But you can certainly do whatever it's your money. So if you want to raise the stop a little more, that's fine. If you don't believe it should be that high and you haven't sold yet, that's okay too. And then so the last two are just United Technologies, doing okay, right? It's our high dollar stock that we usually don't mess with. We were able to raise the stop up to 4%. And then Macy's did great today, by the way. I want to go over that. We're up to, well, we've reduced our risk to 6%. All right. And so those are those. If you have any questions on any of these positions, or if you're in any of them and you want to talk about them, have any questions about what we've done here, feel free to ask. That's okay. And then I mentioned that we raised our stop on, or our target, second target on Boeing. So I think we're all clear there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I want to start with these. We talked about the gold miners, right? Gold miners had a decent run over the past few days, ever since the big volume day. Today was good for AUY. This is probably the more obvious of the symbols, and when I say that, I mean what people do is they go, oh, hey, I saw on TV the other day that gold bounced a certain amount. I wonder if there's a gold stock I could play. And so they pull up their list, right, and they say, well, here's my gold mining list right here. They go through them, and there's all kinds of strategies they'll use. And people say, well, I want to buy breakouts, or I want to buy a pullback to support, or I only want to buy it if it bounces off a 200-day or a 50-day or some moving average, something like that. And so people scan through, and they say, okay, well, what do we have here? We got GG. Oh, yuck, it's all the way down here at support. Okay, let's move on. ABX. Oh, no, it's falling apart, right? So none of this really sticks out. When you get to AUY, it sticks out as a stock that is on price support, very near or close enough, you might say, to the 200 moving average there. And so I say it's obvious to people because it doesn't matter the strategy that you're using. It's a potential play. Now, whether they do it or not is another thing. At the moment, it seems like they're playing along. We're getting more volume day in and day out. People are playing along. The general move is to the upside, so you'd have to say that volume is more buying than selling. I mean, we don't know for sure, but that's what we say. And is a majority of strategies here that could be triggering no matter how you play the markets. Okay, so good day for AUY. We'll look for that to continue. Our first target, remember, is 1575. I kind of hope we get there quickly. This blue line right here is the 50-day moving average. And like it or not, everybody who has more than a month's worth of experience trading the market uses a 50-day moving average. No matter where you go, who teaches you, whose parents handed down their strategy to you, or whatever it is, everybody uses this line. So no doubt we will see a reaction off of that line. I'm just kind of hoping we'll go up the next day, maybe the next day. It'll be a nice move, somewhat extended. We'll hit our first target, and then it can relax and pull back, you know. Best case scenario goes right through it and proves me wrong, but I doubt it. All right. Yeah, and so so the blue line is the 50-day moving average. Yeah. And so it's you use it. We use it on all the or both the charts here if you want, but yeah. Oh, now okay. So on the daily chart, if you're configuring your charts, you got the view trade charts here. You right click and you use the moving average feature. What you actually do is on the daily chart, you put in there 50. The time period's 50. A lot of people get tripped up and they go to the weekly chart and then they put 50 again, right? So they'll say, oh, right click and my line's going to be blue and oh, it's going to be 50. Well, what you're telling the chart then is go back 50 weeks. You don't want that. So you have to think, oh, how many days, right? How many weeks to get 50 days, and that's 10 weeks. So you actually, if you're using a weekly chart and you want this same moving average, you put 10 in there. Common mistake. So this line here represents 50 days. However, technically speaking, you would say it's a 10-week moving average, right? It's the same thing. So yeah, don't get that mistaken. Yeah, and sorry if I never explained that. It's one of those things. Now that you know that, you just instinctively will go and put that on all your charts and not even think about it. But that is the way the chart will need to be, or the platform will need to be told. 10 weeks, 50 days. All right. I have no idea how you would do it on a monthly. Can you put a decimal on a monthly chart? I don't think so. We don't use monthlies that often anyways. Okay, so gold miners, not too bad. Just remember, we're picking a bottom. And, you know, all the sayings about picking your bottom, whether it's the market or your mom or whatever, it's never usually a good thing. We're giving it a try on these, okay? So looking pretty good. Now, Macy's, we're going over to the retail sector now. These are retail stocks. If you're in the United States, you've probably heard of Macy's. I don't think they have Macy's in China or anything yet. Maybe. I don't think they're just U.S., but someone could prove me wrong if there is. We're talking about retail stock, kind of mid to upper level. You know, it's not a Walmart. It's not a Nordstrom's. But using the chart, what we were doing is playing a basic breakout. And what happened today is one of the coolest things that you can see and one of the best individual candlesticks you can see on a chart. And I'll explain this in just a second. So the 200 on the daily is the 40 on the weekly. Yeah, you can do that too. Yep. You can also put the 200 on the weekly. It is very, very popular to do that. However, you've nailed it. If you want to see the 200 on the weekly, you just have to make sure you recognize that it's the weekly chart. So you'd have to go back 40. I don't think I do that, though. Mine's a 200, just a straight 200. Now, one of the coolest things you can do on see on a chart here is what happened today in Macy's. And in, actually, I shouldn't say anything. I think in New Jersey in a few weeks we're going to do a class downtown. Never mind, I didn't say that. I'll let you know if I know something. But What I'm going to talk about, and what we'll talk about tonight, is this individual bar right here, or candle, right? And basically, if you were to study every single candle, right? And some of you may have seen my video on the page there already, but if you were to study each and every one of them, each candle represents a different story. And more importantly, in an uptrend, each candle represents a different story. In a downtrend, each candle tells a different story, right? And it's basically like kind of predicting the future, or at least seeing what other people think is going to be the future. And today, block out all this for a second. Don't look at any of this, none of the other stuff. We're just focused on this one candle for today, okay? So I'm going to erase that because that all looks pretty bad. And we're going to say, just look at today. What happened today in Macy's? Was it good, bad, or ugly? What do you guys think? Just the one candle. Is that candle, do you think that's something good or bad? All right, you guys get it. So it's good. But what makes it good? You can see, oh, well, we were down here and then we finished up here, so it must be good. Specifically, what happened that made it? I mean, if you, it's like saying, you know, oh, you need brain surgery. I can cut your brain out. But specifically, why do you need brain surgery? This is what digging deeper, right? You can hit a golf ball. You can slice it to the right all day long if you're a right-handed player. You can slice it to the left all day long if you're a left-handed player. But can you do that on command? Can you break it down and see exactly what happened in your golf swing to figure out why you hit it one way or the other? That's what this is. So we started today right there, and it just was horrible all day. Just kept going down and down and down. And for a while you think, oh, geez, look at the size of these bars. All day it's just selling off. I mean, what's happening here? And then right at the green line, people stepped up in a big way, right? Volume bigger than the day before, and people bought it. Not only did people try to pick the bottom, think of the strategies here, right? People tried to pick the bottom, and there are people out there that do that. Great for them. That is a strategy. Nothing good or bad about it. Then there are people that said, you know what? When it gets halfway back throughout the day, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my little lower time frame chart here. Check this out. Okay, so here's this is pretty cool if you get to see it throughout the day, or if you can learn how to read it. Here's the beginning of the day. Everything from the blue line to the right is today, and then obviously we finished over here. So there are strategies that people say, oh, the stock's falling, and it fell all day. Those of you that are day traders, what time did it bounce today? Pretty cool. If you guys know about day trading reversal times, people love doing that. Good, fun day trading strategy. People pick bottoms. Then there are people that say, okay, it dropped this much. I'm not trying to pick a bottom. I don't enjoy that. They say, when it gets about halfway back, I'll take advantage of that, and then I'll start playing. Well, that's about halfway. So then you get another group of people that decide they want to buy. See them here? Almost right at halfway. It's pretty cool. So they decide, oh, that's a strategy. You think, why would anybody buy? The 200 moving average is right there. It's a different strategy triggering at that time of the day. Again, notice about what time that triggers, 2:15, right? So it's really cool when you can watch that. For those of you that don't know, there are some really predictable times throughout the day. If you're in the day trading room with Rick, he points them out like clockwork. There are some unbelievably predictable times in the day, right? 10:30 being one of them, 2:15 being a really, really big one. And when they coincide with a location or with some other type of strategy, it's so much fun to, if you're going to trade it, that's fine, but to just see it happen, you really feel good about understanding the markets. So anyways, you have people that said they would do this. Now going back to the daily chart, the reason why people bought, you might have long-term investors that say, well, it's at the 20-day, it just broke out, just a small pullback, maybe I want to buy this thing. That's great. Then you have other people that say, I'm going to wait and see. Once we recover half of the red, then I'll take a shot at it. And they came in. We can see it on the 5-minute. Pretty beautiful thing. Then you have people that say, holy cow, look, it was so red for the day, biggest red bar in a while, and now it's green. Unfortunately, they're running out of time. It's almost the end of the day. The last half hour in day trading is huge, right? So these people said, wow, gee, maybe I need to be in this stock. It recovered all day. I'm going to buy it and hold it. And look at the volume that came in at the end of the day. This isn't day traders. These guys had their fun. Day traders are the little bars down here. This is the volume. The long-term big money investors, they're the big bars. And they came in at the end of the day and said, you know what? Very impressive, Macy's. I like what you did today. I want to be a long-term holder of this stock. Well, we're not day trading, right? You go to Rick's room, you want to day trade, and you'll be hopefully very impressed. We are investing in it. We've owned this stock. We maybe bought it just as it broke out there. That's okay. Maybe could have got a better price. But to see that happen today and putting all of that together, boy, it's going to be easy to sleep tonight. You feel like something horrible would have to happen. Unless Macy's owns like 80% of Lululemon or whatever it's called, or stocks, 90% of all their stores are stocked with that stupid stretchy pants thing that you can see through. That I've been saying that for years. You walk over, the girls walking around with those pants on, you see right through their pants. It's horrible. So, side note. But anyways, unless something weird like that happens, people have committed to this stock for the long term. And so it makes you feel good. If you're an investor, you're playing along with us, it makes you feel good. Just like with Boeing, we talked about the same thing. I'm going to talk about Boeing on Thursday, and I want to do some of that same detail. I want to go into the detail about why. Why Boeing? Why now? Why Macy's? Why is that one bar so impressive? And we'll have another 2 days of trading, so we'll get to see what it does from there. But it's those little details that when you're trading, if you're trading technically, you're using a chart, right? Those little details can make the biggest difference. Either A, if you're day trading, well, we pointed out a bunch of different ideas there, or B, if you're an investor and you bought today, cool, right? Cool, you got a little bit better of a price than I did. But if you're an investor and you own the stock, no matter where you bought it, you're feeling pretty good if you can understand that one bar. Now, I started the conversation by saying in an uptrend, right? It's a big deal when this bar happens in an uptrend. Not such a big deal when it happens in a downtrend. You're guessing. That's everybody guessing that, oh, we might have something here, right? Right here. They took a guess, and that's fair. That's a strategy. These people took a guess. Hopefully they got out. These people took a guess, and it's paying off, right? So that's what I mean. Once you've established an uptrend, meaning your 20 moving average is rising and it is now above your 50-day, or best case scenario, both above the 50 and the 200. Now you've established an uptrend without getting too picky about the definition of an uptrend. And to see this sort of bar just confirms you're looking in the right place. Now, if Macy's, for some reason, does stock a ton of those pants that you can see through, or, what's her name, the cooking lady, Martha Stewart, all of a sudden, blows up every Macy's in town or something, and the stock starts dropping down, you know that there are a ton of people playing along with us, and you do not want to hold that stock. You can give it some wiggle room. You're going to have your stop in place there somewhere that you think is respectable. But if people start dumping it, you can now see the amount of commitment people had. They were going to buy it. They were all in. We saw them do it. Hundreds of thousands of shares, millions over the past few days. And if they start dumping it, well, number one, well, I'm not the only one that's wrong here. I don't feel so bad. It's not like I picked something and I was the only one that got it wrong out of every investor in the market. You should feel bad if that happens, by the way. But you know that they're dumping it, and there is no reason to hold it past your stop. So therefore, there's no emotion. You don't have to worry about being the lone person that bought the stock today and did I get it right. You also don't have to worry about should I hold it past my stop, because all those people believe they're wrong. What makes you think you're going to be right? So there's no emotion left, and it's a really cool thing when you can kind of point those out. And so I kind of just wanted to go over that basic thing tonight, just a basic one bar analogy. Like I said, there's a video I made about this, Trading Wings video I made a while back for these individual bars, and that's just cool when you get to see it in real life. Nothing like watching some videos at night, learning about trading, but when you own something and you see it happen, it just puts it all together. It's like watching, what is it, a golf tournament or a football thing. You're like, oh, come on, I can hit the ball that far. then you go and do it, right? If you learn some technique and you go out and try to do it, if you can hit the ball like that, oh, it's so awesome. Same thing with the stock. So looking good there. Now, on Thursday, having a bit of an open house. Anybody that wants to join us is welcome. So if you have some friends or something that just want to come in and ask some questions, that's fine. You know me, I don't have a sales pitch. I don't do anything like that. So we're just going to talk about the market. We're going to kind of brag about some of our positions here that we have, and then we're going to go over specifically some things that people that aren't a part of this can look at and hopefully use, going forward for their own investing or trading. So, somebody that has any questions, or you just, somebody that wants to get some free advice or something, they're welcome to come on Thursday. Please take a moment to note that we do have 2 new potential positions in GIL and ICLR. ICLR is a lighter volume stock, so just a fair warning there. Don't get hung up on getting the exact entry price. It's okay, right? If you get it 20 cents higher, 40 cents higher, it's okay. So this is one of those symbols. You more than likely will not buy it at the, you can put your order there, but give it a limit. You're going to do a buy stop limit, not a buy stop market when you place this order. Everybody know that? Everybody comfortable with that? On a buy stop limit? Certain stocks you could do, like Boeing and Macy's and symbols with good volume. Target, you could do buy stop market orders and probably have no problem. Don't do it on this one. Just a heads up. If you guys have any questions about that, or this hits you later and you go, what? Wait a minute, what did he say? You can send me an email, no problem, always around. But be sure to check out those 2 plays, and if you're going to play along with us, recognize the entry prices, recognize your position size, right? If you don't want to play them, that's fine too, but just a heads up, they're on the page, the members page, and so is a portfolio. So if you missed some of these or you can't see them, be sure to check that out. We will be here again on Thursday. Again, if you have any questions anytime, you can feel free to email Dustin@tradingwings.com. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Thanks for joining us. If you came late or you had to leave early, this is recorded as well too, so we'll get that posted for you. All right. Thanks. Good night.